Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 7, chapter number 10, text number 3. Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees. Bhritya Lakshana Jignasur Bhaktam Kamesva Chodayat Bhavan Sansara Bijeshu Hridaya Grantishu Prabhu Bhaktya Lakshana Jignasur Bhaktam Kamesva Chodayat Bhavan Samsara Bijayesu Hridaya Grantishu Prabhu Bhritya Lakshana Jignasur Bhaktam Kamesva Chodayat Bhavan Samsara Bijeshu Hridaya Grantishu Prabhu Bhritya Lakshana Jignashu, desiring to exhibit the symptoms of a pure devotee. Bhaktam, the devotee. Kameso, in the material world, where lusty desires predominate. Chodayat, has sent. Bhavan, your lordship. Samsara Bijasho, the root cause of being present in this material world. Hridaya Grantisho, which is in the core of the hearts of all conditioned souls. Desire for material enjoyment. Prabhu, O my worshipable Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my worshipable Lord, because the seed of lusty desires, which is the root cause of material existence, is within the core of everyone's heart, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptoms of a pure devotee. Purport. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has given considerable discussion about Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha devotees. Nitya Siddha devotees come from Vaikuntha to this material world to teach by their personal example how to become a devotee. The living entities in this material world can take lessons from such Nitya Siddha devotees and thus become inclined to return home back to Godhead. A Nitya Siddha devotee comes from Vaikuntha upon the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and shows by his example how to become a pure devotee, Anyabhilasita Sunyam. In spite of coming to this material world, a Nitya Siddha devotee is never attracted by the allurements of material enjoyment. A perfect example is Prahlad Maharaj, who was a Nitya Siddha, a Bhagavad devotee. Although Prahlad was born in the family of a Hiranyakashipu, an atheist, he was never attached to any kind of materialistic enjoyment. Desiring to exhibit the symptoms of pure devotee, the Lord tried to induce Prahlad Maharaj to take material benedictions, but Prahlad Maharaj did not accept them. On the contrary, by his personal example, he showed the symptoms of a pure devotee. In other words, the Lord Himself has no desire to send His pure devotee to this material world, nor does the devotee has any material purpose in coming. When the Lord Himself appears as an incarnation within this material world, He is not allured by the material atmosphere, and He has nothing to do with material activity. Yet, by His example, he teaches the common man how to become a devotee. Similarly, a devotee who comes here in accordance with the order of the Supreme Lord shows by his personal behavior how to become a pure devotee. A pure devotee, therefore, is a practical example for all living entities, including the Lord Brahma. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuran Militamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascharcha Desadarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhubevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. So here very much Prabhupada speaks about the pure devotees and his example, and also he speaks about the root cause of material existence. In the overview itself, Srila Prabhupada writes about lusty desires. He talks about as soon as a person becomes lusty, or when the lusty desires awakens in one's heart, one's senses, mind, and life, soul, religious principles, patience, intelligence, shyness, beauty, strength, memory, and truthfulness are all vanquished. And one can render unalloyed devotional service only when there are no material desires in one's mind. This is in the introduction of this whole chapter. What it means by vanquished, what it means, how you define it? Finished, destroyed, yeah. When the lust desire arises, it captures the mind, the senses, and the intelligence. Through these are the outlets. A person, all these things comes out, the qualities. He captures every nook and corner. And that's why Prabhupada said, it vanquishes everything. It vanquishes the realized knowledge. It vanquishes your knowledge. And it takes over everything. And how many of you found lust desires are very challenging in spiritual life? One, two, myself including, it's like, we put 17 years in the Brahmachari ashram. It's like, it's a big challenging. The mind and senses it's very hard to control, isn't it? It appears to be like, you have overcome your sexual desires, and then suddenly it overcomes it, overwhelming. The lusty desires are overwhelming. Because we see, in my school days, we were in the sports day, we were, wrestling in the schools. And, in one of my school matches, we have in the school, some of my, the batch, they become very good fighters in the classrooms. So, the master, obviously, in the sports day, he wanted to entertain the children and the chief guest and everyone. So, he wants us to fight. And I was in the ring. And my opponent, my classmate, who was a little bit stronger than me, and the timing is 120 seconds only. It's like 2 minutes. And in the first ring, in the first round, and he just knocked me out. He was out of the ring. And in one knock, I was out. Just like when the opponent is very strong, and you can't fight him. Though it appears to be like, it's like it's not very difficult, but the opponent is very strong. Prahlad, in the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the kama represents Pralambasura, which is the straightforward attraction for the opposite sex and adoration, name, and fame. If you want to know this in details, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, he gave a series of lectures in Demons in Vrindavan, like 18 lectures, very beautiful descriptions. and a very in detailed manner. It's in the vahe.org. You can download, you can hear it. But it's a very beautifully explains. Pralambasura represents the calm. And we know that Pralambasura was killed by? Yeah. The supreme strength. And it is said that if you want to overcome lusty desires, you have to take shelter of who? Balaram. He gives the spiritual strength. And he is very closely associated with Krishna. And also it is said to take a strong shelter of spiritual master. His spiritual master represents Balaram too, because he is also an expansion of Balaram's energy. So when we take shelter of them, you will get spiritual strength to overcome. Because the opponent is very strong and you don't have any capacity to fight against him. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, it's not only difficult, for us, it's difficult, it was difficult for everyone in the past. The history says that, all over Bhagavatam we see that. This one fell down, and that one got attracted, and this one got allured. And, all these big people, the small people, the mediocres, and everyone undergone this process. And they felt it is difficult. It is strong, and it is difficult. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad-Gita that, Daivihesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya. My maya is, look at the power of my maya. The whole world is running after that, which is actually, there is no pleasure and nothing but suffering, but still people run after the day and night, and with a great struggle. They struggle hard to achieve it. Krishna says that the divine energy of mind, which is mind, consisting three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. And Krishna actually says that you can't overcome it by your own strength. He himself defines that this is my potency. When Krishna, which is representing Krishna and himself, the energy of Krishna, obviously we can't fight against it. But Krishna also says that in further shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, the living entity belongs to eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination of the inferior nature, the illusion is also eternal. And also says, the conditioned soul, therefore it is called Nitya Baddha. And no one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Because we also have lived in this kind of a life for so long. So long we were thinking that we can enjoy the material nature, and so long we were attached to the sensible pleasures. It's just not like, you joined the temple, in this lifetime you are attached. No, it's like, it's like continuing for many, many millions of lifetimes. You are taking the same samskara. You wanted to get attracted towards someone, you want to enjoy material pleasure. This is going on and on and on for like cycle of, many cycle of births and deaths. And it suddenly, to stop it, it is difficult. That's why it is said that consequently his release from the clutches of material nature is difficult. Because due to that, even though material nature is an inferior energy, because it's ultimately conducted by the supreme will. Though it may appears to be like, it's material energy, it is material energy, but because behind the supreme will and the supreme power is that, so you can't overcome. It is a bit challenging. And also Krishna says, Mayam tu prakritim, vidyam mayinam tu maheshwaram. And Prabhupada writes, he quotes it from the Svetaswara Upanishad. Krishna is a supreme magician. He creates some form and you can get attracted by it and he can make it disappear too. So that's the idea. Krishna is a magician, and everything we see, it's like, magic. Suddenly one day is there full of fog, and suddenly there is sun. And, it's like, it's a magic. People, they look every day, and still they don't look. And they don't realize, isn't it? We look at our body, ourselves every day in the mirror that we are getting old, wrinkles, the hairs, and still we don't look it. This is called Maya, the illusory energy. It's a magic power. It's like, you think like, I'm okay. Krishna explains in Bhagavad-Gita, Prabhupada gives a very logical and a practical solutions for these things. Prabhupada said that as long as the lower taste are not conquered, when we are able to experience the higher taste, that is by engaging the senses in devotional and also purifying. When lust and greed are employed in Krishna's service, for example, desiring only Krishna Prasadam, when you desire only Krishna Prasadam, you don't have to eat noodles, you go outside in the hotels, it's not needed. Krishna Prasadam, when you eat sumptuous Prasadam, you are happy with that. I remember when Sunday, we used to go to the Sunday temples, the devotees, they cook nice curd rice, made out of cashews, black grapes, and pomegranates, and the fried dal in it. So sumptuous. The moment you go in the temple, when you take darshan, the temple is so beautifully decorated, and everywhere flowers, chandeliers, nicely painted, clean, and everywhere devotee is smiling at you. And we give a warm welcome look. And also after that, at the end of the program, they give nice prasadam. And they make you dance, they give you a nice katha. And everything is relishable. You got a higher taste, you feel you got a transformation that, okay, maybe, it's a good deal that you join the movement. You get a better pleasure here. That is true. Because most of the time people end up joining the temple because they get some pleasure, isn't it? I went to the temple and when the devotees made me dance up and down, jumping. I never danced in my life, though I was, used to watch, all the Michael Jackson, the dances, pop songs, though it's not very popular in the South, but people are, aware of it. They go into the net and then watch all these things, and then they want to actually become like that. They wanted to dance to the full, to the full pleasure. And also they wanted to enjoy life. This is the nature of the living entity, to be in Anandamaya Abhyasat. And when they get really some pleasure, they try to take the advantage of it. So Prabhupada gives an example that the lower taste, you can give it up. There is a possibility you can make it, when you get the higher pleasure. Further, Krishna says that Vishaya Vanivartante Niraharasya Dehina Rasovarjam Rasopiyasya Paramdristva Nivartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, everyone is here is restricted from sense enjoyment, isn't it? The saffron ones don't associate with Mataji. And the white ones, very restricted life with your wife. Everyone has bound by the rules and regulations, but what? Everyone has a taste for unlimited enjoyment, isn't it? Though you restrict yourself, restrict your senses, restrict your mind, still, the taste exists. The taste is existing. That's what Krishna says. Embodied soul may be restricted, but still the enjoyment tendency is there. But the taste of object, the sense object remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing higher taste, he's fixed in his consciousness. But Prabhupada said, if you become really spiritual, if your activities, if your behavior, everything, related, sincerely, if you become spiritual, you gain pleasure to the spiritual activities. That's what Prabhupada says in one of his letter. He writes to his disciples, if you sincerely practice the process, and you will gain pleasure out of it. And due to that, you can subsidize. You can subsidize your sensual demands. We see in the first shloka of Rupa Goswami also, he says that, Vachavegam, Manasya Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Upastha Vegam. Etan, further, what is the next line? Itan Veganyo Visheta Dhira. He says, tolerate the urges. The urges are there. Everyone's, their eyes wants to see something good, and the ears wants to hear good music. All the senses, they wanted to take pleasure. And because the living entity is there, that is, what do you call it, pining, they wanted some pleasure. And Rupa Goswami says, you have to tolerate the urges, because the urge is so powerful that we see that, in the examples, in the scriptures itself, the people, they're not able to control the senses. And though knowingly, you have knowledge, you have realization, it's still you end up in doing something bad. It happens sometimes, right? You have realization, you have knowledge, you know everything, you heard, you heard in retreats, you heard in the classes, but senses sometimes it overcomes you, the overwhelming desires. It can happen. But, try to tolerate and experience pleasure from the process, Krishna conscious process. And also, in Vrindavan, we see that, Rupa Goswami actually said that, in a joking way. Sri Rupa Goswami, he said, when Krishna, after killing the Keshi demon, Keshi God is just nearby. We all know that near the Madan Mohan temple. After killing Keshi demon, Krishna just went down, the Yamuna to take bath. That place becomes a Keshi God, because his hands got contaminated. He put his hands in the Keshi's mouth, the Keshi suffocated, and then Krishna took out his hands and then went to take bath. And Rupa Goswami says, that's the place actually Krishna stands there. With his three-folded bending form, with his nice dhoti, with his shash on his hip, and he has a flute in his hands. And don't go to that place. If you go, you will lose a desire for material enjoyment. Srila Rupa Goswami says that in a very joking way. And not only that, he says that even by mistake, don't go there. Whenever I remember this, we go to the parikrama, sometimes in the bike, with the devotee friends. We give a thought of it. Oh, maybe Krishna is standing there. Since I am here, why don't we take a chance? In case if he is visible to us, maybe we get attracted to him. So that, further he says, in other words, having darshan of Govindji at Keshi Ghat, one becomes freed from material attachments, and not only that, becomes mad. He becomes a madman. He becomes mad after, like the residents of Raja. Rupa Goswami says, if you get attracted to Krishna, for sure, you become like a madman, like the residents of Raj. This is the, the result, the person when he get attracted towards Krishna. I'm also trying my best to come every day, Mangalarti, look at Krishna, visible in the temple itself, and somehow, not able to get attracted towards him. We try our best, chant Krishna's name. Still, the sadhaka process, it's difficult. The moment you go out, you get attracted towards so many things. I went to my bike, my tire it got punctured, I had to change my tire. I'm very much worried about it. And the engine is making a sound, tick, 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 tick. It's not that attracting. Then what come inside immediately, you remember, oh my God, you see, when I went out, you totally lost in Maya. Totally you get carried away by your own stuff. But there is always a choice that Krishna devotee can make it. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami also sings that Jayadam Surato Pangur Mama Mandamathir Gati Mat Sarvasya Padam Bojo Radha Madan Mohanam. He says that Radha Madan Mohan, he prays to Radha Madan Mohan that I am lame and ill-advised. And Radha Madan Mohan, they are my directors. In the spiritual life, everyone is lame. In the devotees, especially Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Vaishnava's mercy, they are the walking stick. We are all lame, we cannot walk on our own. You have to always take shelter of the devotees, hear from them, serve them, and get their blessings. And through that, you can just walk ahead. Because you are ill and lame, you can't go on your own. You can't advance on your own. we all have experience, but when we are all together, it's very easier. Like, when you chant together with the devotees, it is very easy to chant you around. So when the moment you go to your room, the moment you go to residence, it becomes hard. Similarly, the devotees' mercy, even though we feel like we are ourselves are doing, but because we are in the devotees' society, that the process becomes easier, and it's easier to be Krishna conscious. And further, we see that the perfection of life is simply surrender to the Supreme. In the beginning of our spiritual life, we must therefore worship Madan Mohan. It is must we establish our relationship with Madan Mohan. And Prabhupada says that Krishna's other name is Madan Mohan, and Krishna is within the heart. And lusty desires, when Krishna is within the heart, lusty desires becomes defeated. If we learn to love Krishna, our lusty desires will be finished. This is the one and only solution. And here it is rasa. There is a rasa, bhakti rasa. When you practice bhakti rasa, bhakti, there is a rasa which develops, which is different sthayi bhav. The bhav which you develop, Rupa Goswami says that in all the 5 kinds of relationship there is some rasa. Devotees, they should try to chant Krishna's name and try to develop relationship with Krishna. That's one of the 9 symptoms of devotional service. Sakyam, Vandanam. Krishna says that to make friendship with Krishna, that's one of the process. To be a close friend of Krishna. It is one of the 9 devotional process. And when we do that, Prabhupada gives in a letter that Krishna can subdue the god Cupid. Only by engaging the service of Madan Mohan, one can curb the dictates of Madana. Otherwise, attempts to control the senses will fail. Unless one is nourished by the devotional service, one takes pleasure in devotional life, by doing it regularly in a sincere way, automatically lust will disappear. Otherwise, artificially controlling the senses, you won't be able to make. Prabhupada says it. Attempts to control the senses will fail. There has to be, because the natural tendency to the jiva is to take pleasure. You take pleasure by serving Krishna. And if you don't do that, you will obviously fail. And I got a quote from in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, where Maharaj Nimi meets 9 yogendras. He says, Visrujati hridayam nayasya shakshat darir avasyabhitopi gaudanasha pranaya rasanaya dritangri padma sa bhavati bhagavata pradhana bhukta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind to conditioned souls. That is always the nature of Krishna. And the Krishna means he's very kind and very gentle, and he's always very considerable. And he says, if they all call upon him speaking his holy name, even unintentionally or unwillingly, the Lord is inclined to destroy innumerable sinful reactions in their heart. Therefore, when a devotee who has taken shelter of Lord's lotus feet chants Krishna's name with genuine love, the Supreme Lord can never give up the heart of such a devotee. Now, Krishna, he says that even if you unwillingly, unintentionally, if you chant, Krishna will hear you. And once it becomes a genuine love, he will never use your heart. One who has thus captured Krishna within his heart is to be known as Bhagavat Pradhan, the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Here it speaks about pure devotees, and in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a lot of symptoms of a pure devotee. One symptom, he says that the essence of pure devotee's qualification is given in this verse. He says a pure devotee who is not attracted, who has attracted by Lord by his love, so that the Lord cannot give up the devotee's heart. This is one of the pure devotee symptoms. He attracted Krishna, Sudurlabha. We see that one of the Bhava Bhakti symptom is that Krishna Akarshan, he attracts Krishna. And when he attracts Krishna, Krishna gets attracted towards devotee and he will never leave you. And that's one of the pure devotee symptom. And another pure devotee symptom is a pure devotee has realized knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has given his heart to the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is all attractive in cyclical opulences, including beauty. And also, a pure devotee can never be attracted by the material body, by the hallucination or the so-called society, friendship and love within the material world. So these are some of the symptoms of a pure devotee. And I also would like, further, a quote from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says in his Chaitanya Shikshamrit, and he actually gives our inspiration. The Madhimadikari, the devotee, actually he says that should increases his chanting day and night. He chants till he chants 3 lakh names a day. This is a Madhimadikari. He increases his chanting day and night till he reaches 192 rounds. This is not a perfectional, what do you call that? Premi Bhakta, but a sadhaka. He talks about the sadhaka. Eventually, the devotee should practice that every second, he should practice chanting Krishna's name 24 hours a day. This is what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling. Anyway, the mind is always empty. It's not very busy. Engage him. Engage the mind. He says that increases his chanting day and night. It's one of the Madhimadikari quality. He chants 3 lakh names, 192 rounds a day. The chanting gives him such bliss that he cannot exist without it. If you chant 192 rounds every day, I'm sure it's very easy. But, if you chant, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that you will get unlimited bliss. For sure, you will not fall in Maya. This is 100% guarantee. 192 rounds a day, every day you chant, and Krishna gives you unlimited bliss. And how you chant? Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, though he cannot count his rounds while sleeping. While sleeping, you just switch it on, like, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It can become a practice. Practice can make it perfect. Obviously we are thinking something. You are thinking about tomorrow's plan. You want to go there, do this, do that. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, switch it on to Hare Krishna mantra. The tune will goes on. When we sleep in the ashram, we have a fortune of hearing the 24-hour kirtan party, non-stop they're chanting all night. If you can just give your ears, you can hear that. And he says that though he cannot count his rounds while sleeping and performing other bodily functions, when you take bath, you can turn on the tune, Hare Krishna. And when you do ablutions, when you eat prasadam, the mind keep on chanting. Then it becomes a practice. And he says, he chants at those times without counting. 16 rounds you chant with your physical body, with your hands, roll the beads, and then chant with your mouth and be with the devotees. Apart from that, other time, you start practicing in the other rounds. Catch it up with other leftover rounds. 192 minus 16, whatever it is, you can catch it up. And then he says, he meditates on the meaning of the names, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And gradually, what is the result? The result is, all his sinful tendencies become subdued. All your sins will be finished. All your troubles, whole day in management, we sit down and discuss only the troubles, This guy comes, he did this thing wrong. Oh God, how to punish him? And this one comes, he did this, how to punish him? It's a very good process. Engage people. The mind is the troublemaker. It is creating all the troubles. And not only that, he says, all the sinful tendencies become subdued. All your problems is due to your mind. Engage that person. He's the culprit. We found the culprit today. That's within you. Engage that culprit. 24 hours, that's a punishment. He should be chanting every time, Krishna, 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 and you will not have any problem. No more meetings. We close the management office. Totally troubleless, problemless. And then he experienced the name's true nature. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, not only that, your sinful tendencies, it just disappears like this fog. And what else? And he says, the true nature of the name appears. He says that, what is the true nature of the name? It's supreme bliss. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. It's just like unlimited bliss which you have not ever experienced it. Gulab Jamun, okay, 10 years before I loved it. And now, I don't want to even eat it. It comes, I just say, okay, next plate. Not much attraction. You taste sugar, it's okay, tasty, but it's not, we are not really addicted much. After a while when you hit 40, always my teacher used to say, the 40 hits you back. The digestion doesn't work. The tooth has a problem, and all kinds of problems are started, and then he becomes a senior devotee. Senior devotee means eats only boiled sabji, sits in the plastic chair. All these things, it's a symptom of a senior devotee. But here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, supreme bliss. The mind becomes peaceful. And along with that, what happens? Krishna's presence. Not only that, Krishna's presence is there. Krishna's presence, the material modes vanquish. And only pure sattva rises. And what? All Krishna's non-material qualities appears in the person. And further Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, and along with that, Krishna's pastimes will appear to you. Krishna's pastime, Krishna is, herding the cows, he's going with the cowboy friends, and he's playing with them, all kinds of things. And further, will appear to the Lord's, by Lord's mercy in the pure heart of a devotee. And he has developed a natural vision. And tongue glorifies the Lord with counted or uncounted names. The mind sees Krishna. The heart pursues Krishna's qualities. And the soul in trance sees Krishna's pastimes. This is the result. This is unlimited mercy. We can all try. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it's a madhimadikari only. That which means we are all a sadhaka. We can practice it. Every time. We can. Once Bhakti Vidya Vigyan Swami, I was hearing his lecture. He said, even when you take prasadam, every morsel of the food, when you take, you should eat it and then you chant in your mind at least 8 times, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When you do this, it's the best practice to control the mind. The best practice. You become conscious of Krishna and focus on Krishna. Then it becomes a habit. People can, can develop a very good habit. You're talking to someone and your mind is chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. How good it is. You can preach in the middle of anywhere and you can't fall in Maya. Because your mind is not there. His mind is already with Krishna. Isn't it? Such a nice process, and we have heard the unlimited blessings and mercy when you do that. And I recommend you all, may you chant 192 rounds every day and relish Krishna consciousness and overcome all this, jujubi. We call it as, this is nothing, this lusty desires, greed. Like this, it will go away. Finishes. And today is also Lochandas Thakur's appearance day. Disappearance day. So I've been told to talk something about Lochandas Thakur. So I just downloaded one poem from Lochandas Thakur. It's from his Chaitanya Mangal. It mentions very much about Srila Prabhupada. He says that Namaguna Sankirtana Vaishnavera Shakti Prakasha Karibayami Nija Prema Bhakti. Chanting the names, chanting the qualities of Krishna is the life and energy of the Vaishnavas. I will reveal these activities rejuvenate pure devotional service. When you do that, the devotional service gets rejuvenated. Ei mata kali pape karibasanar sabe chale age pache na kare vichar. In this way, he says, I will destroy all sins in Kali Yuga. So all of you, my associates, go ahead and take birth on the earthly planet before my advent and don't remain behind. He is glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Eba nama sankirtan tikshukadaga laye antara shura jivera pilibe katiya. Taking the sharp sword of congregational chanting, Hare Krishna mantra, I will root out and destroy the demonic mentality in the heart of all conditioned souls. Yadi pape chadi dharma dure dese yayamora senapati bhakta yai betatai. He says, if some sinful people escape giving up religious principles, go too far off countries, then my Senapati Bhakta will come at that time to give them Krishna consciousness. Even if you go to the foreign countries, he says that my devotee will come and chasing you, and he will bring you to Vrindavan. See, we see all of foreign devotees, a lot of foreign devotees here. And Senapati Bhakta very much it speaks about Prabhupada. And also he says that Lord Chaitanya will empower his own devotee to spread Krishna consciousness around the world. And Sri Lochandas Thakur actually, he was born on 1445 and disappeared 1540 in this day. And he was a disciple of Srila Narhari Chakravarti Thakur and very dear associate of Lord Gaur Hari. His father's name was Kamala Karadas and his mother's name was Sadananda, Sri Sadananda. And he was the only son of his parents. And he was married at very young age. From his youth, Lochandas Thakur was very detached. And we see these always a symptom of a pure devotee. They got married young age or whatever it may be, but they become very detached. They are always attracted towards Krishna's lotus feet. And Lochandas' desire is to always to be near the lotus feet of Narottam Das Thakur and serve him with his life and soul and sing the glories of Lord Gauranga and to be the servant of Narahari. And Lochandas Thakur also wrote a Chaitanya Mangal which tells many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and not revealed, which was not revealed by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And you can read that in Chaitanya Mangal. And he says that especially the touching conversation of the Lord Chaitanya with his wife Vishnupriya, Gaurasundar with his wife Vishnupriya, the night before he took sannyas. Also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to print and distribute Lochandas Chaitanya Mangal. Prabhupada was very fond of his bhajans while singing Parama Karuna and other, he wrote an extensive commentary of it too. And Lochandas finally asked everyone, my dear brother, just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm faith and conviction. Don't think that it is chanting and dancing will not lead to the desired goal. It is the assurance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one will get all perfection by this process. Therefore, one must chant with firm faith and conviction.